they are required to get certain percentage in the supply from RE. There are a lot of DUs or developers just wanted to accept CSP. What can you say about that?
Well, currently, I think that will fall under the Renewable Portfolio Standard rules,
Still CSP.
where DUs and electric cooperatives and retail electricity suppliers are required to purchase a fixed portion
Yes.
of their supply from RE. Currently, it's still required for
CSP.
the mandated participants to conduct a CSP to ensure competitiveness. But if they will introduce a non-CSP route, I think what's important is to ensure still the competitiveness of the rates. I think the current rules via the CSP could work. The only roadblock that we see there is if it has to go through regulatory approvals after. The problem is when you bid, you win the contract, and then later on you ask for approval, the rate gets cut down. So again, it brings me back to regulatory uncertainty. Um, as a developer, as an investor, you would want to understand how the rules will pan out. So if those kinds of mechanisms would be introduced, we will explore it and we will try to maximize it with investments. But again, it's really stability. We want clear rules and we want to play by the rules because we want a fair market. And we don't want just one player taking over the whole grid or something. It's supposed to be a collaborative effort. If we are to reach our targets, it cannot be driven by just one key player. It has to be the whole industry, the consumers, the investors, the financiers, and even the developers working together to get to that point.
Okay, thank you. Talking about investment climate, recently the government has already removed the prohibition of the or less than 40% equity for foreigners. But would you rather allow your company to be managed 100% by foreigners when in fact under the revised corporation law, even if it's power sector, they still require Filipinos to manage the power companies. What can you say about this, Mr. Andrew?
A weighted question. I would just make a broader point. We were talking about Impera in the last question. I think Philippines deserves a huge amount of credit for getting this far in the liberalization of the market. And I totally hear the interest in stability and clarity from a regulatory perspective. But when we look around the region and even around the world, the Philippines is really pioneering the liberalization and deregulation push in the energy market. So it's really, really exciting to see the 2001 PIRA regulations and then the West market getting created in the mid-2000s. It's very encouraging. The competition, the diversity of the market, large companies, more startup or newer companies, different types of generation. It's all very exciting. We look at other markets in Southeast Asia. I just came back from a trip to Africa looking at opportunities in the energy market there. The Philippines is really advanced. It was just to share with the room, the markets in Southern Africa that I was meeting really look up to the Philippines as again, a pioneer of what's possible, which is great to see. And we're excited to be part of that industry and that movement.
Yeah, about the 4060 thing, Carlo?
For me, just like how CSB is technology agnostic, in terms of management, we should also be nationality agnostic. Right? Again, it depends on the skill. But I think what we have to recognize, still, Ms. Ruth, would be the local, there is that local knowledge when it comes to progressing projects. There has to be there has to be that recognition for that. But at the same time, in terms of managing the operations, it's the same. You can even like today with today's technology, you could put all the monitoring rooms. You could put all the monitoring and the operations of all plants in one room, far away from the actual plant. But that's possible today, but not with our current rules. But yeah. with the 60-40, I think, Ms. Ruth, if we are going to limit ourselves to just being, again, Filipino-owned, we wouldn't be able to make that 35% by 2030, 35% by 2030, and more than 50% by 2050, because we really need a lot of capital. At the end of the day, if my money, if it's my money, and if I'm a foreigner, and I think this is a sentiment of everyone, even, if it's your money, you want control, right? You wouldn't want somebody else making the decision for you because it's your money. So I think it's, principle-wise, I'm not against it.
Okay, because I have already experienced having projects with about 90% foreigners, and they left the Filipinos behind. They did not encourage Filipinos to join in the management, so we just watch and see what they're doing. So I think that is not a good thing also in view of the situation in the Philippine sector. Moving forward, do you see in 2 to 3 years or 5 years more investment in the RE space? Yes, Dian?
Well, speaking for first gen, yes, we would be committing more investment in the RE space. We have a target of 9 gigawatts of upcoming projects that will be a mix of clean and RE. And I think our industry partners are in there as well. We look forward to all the new auctions that DOE will be conducting. So GEP 3 is about to wrap up. GEP 4 is coming soon. And we have a lot of lessons learned already from GEP 1 and 2. So I hope the policymakers and regulators are listening to how the market is responding to these auctions and to these programs, and in order for the next ones to succeed and for us to really see the influx of RE that we are expecting in the years to come.
Yes, Carlo.
I'm seeing a lot of investments, I think. We are a local developer transitioning to become an independent power producer, and we're looking for partners wherein they would be able to make that possible. And I think that's also the strategy of other local developers who would like to be independent power producers, is to use to go in the capital markets, to start there, and then eventually build themselves up. And I think that's how the Philippines will grow. Money and we're now global, so money, and we're still number 2 in terms of RE investments. So I think RE will really be coming here. Otherwise, we wouldn't have events like this, right? The reason why you're here is because you're interested in the Philippines, and yeah, I think that this is a good indication of that there will be more money coming in. I just like to respond also to that, Mr. When you said earlier that there were those 90% who manage. I think it's really just like what I said earlier, wherein there is a recognition of the local capability in terms of progressing projects. So it's really a negotiation from best practice. It's a negotiation between the investor and the local developer of having that roles and responsibilities in progressing projects. And I think that just being able to secure that and properly agree on that during the negotiations, and it evolves, it continuously evolves. So having that dynamic and ensuring that you are partners, that you're not going to leave each other behind. That's why you're partners, diba? Don't talk about divorce. When you're partners, you're married, so it's going to be a long relationship. I hope that marriage is something that will propel the Philippines to meeting its renewable energy targets.
25 years marriage and renewable.